ever wonder what it takes to live a life creatively? So do we. That's why we're here. To find out what clever people are doing to be successful in the arts. I'm Cecily Korst, and this is the Trailer Talks. We're interviewing artists and educators, entrepreneurs, and musicians at home and on the road. Come along. It's going to be a fun trip.
Hey, welcome to the trailer. Come on in.
Today, we're in the trailer and on Skype with Dan Nainan, a comedian who lives in New York City and tours the world. He started out in corporate America, and we're going to talk to him about his life and journey.
Hey, I'm Dan Nainan, professional comedian. I travel the U.S. and the world performing clean comedy. Follow me as I perform and sightsee in places like Dubai, Panama, Tanzania, etc., and meet some of the interesting people who see me perform.
I think you're the funniest guy out there.
Dan is hysterical.
So you're probably wondering, what race is that guy anyway?
World's only Indian-Japanese comedian.
Everyone, please welcome Daniel Nainan.
Hi, we're with the Trailer Talks and Dan Nainan. Just to start off, before getting into comedy, you were an engineer at Intel. Describe that journey to this point.
Well, it was quite a journey. My job was to travel the world with the chairman and co-founder of Intel and CEO, Andy Grove, and I had to do technical demonstrations on stage. And I was sometimes in front of thousands of people at events all around the world, and it could be Phuket, Thailand, or the south of France, etc. And of course, being half Indian and half Japanese, the technical part I could do in my sleep. But the tough part was speaking on stage, and I was terrified of that. So I thought, I've got to get over this fear of speaking on stage. And first I took Toastmasters. I joined the Toastmasters Club at Intel. But that wasn't quite scintillating enough because I was in front of 11 other computer nerds like myself. And I thought, I have to do something that's really, really terrifying. Because a friend of mine told me a saying once, a very famous saying, do what you fear and the death of fear is certain. So I had always been told that I was funny and I should try comedy. And there was a comedy class being offered in the Bay Area, and I took it. And that changed my life.
So what was it like leaving the comfort of a corporate job to become a stand-up comedian?
Well, everybody thought I was insane, including my parents. I mean, I left the job paying six figures and the stock options and full benefits for a job that averages maybe $10,000 a year with no health insurance. And so it was definitely a leap of faith. But just because of the positive experiences I'd had, I really believed in myself. And I thought, this is something I really want to do. I really want to try it. And I could always go back to Intel. I could still go now, even. In fact, the other day I met someone. He said, why don't you come back until I said, no, I'm just having too much fun doing what I'm doing.
So what is the creative process like for you? Do you write the jokes, or did the jokes sort of find you?
I write all my own jokes. Now, the jokes kind of write themselves. My teacher tells me that the raw material for jokes is conversations you have on the phone with your friends, or you're out to dinner in a restaurant and there's 10 people and they're all laughing uproariously. This is fantastic raw material for jokes. And there's always the situations and the things you observe every day that, and sometimes I'll just be in the shower and think of something and laugh out loud, and then 2 nights later I can be doing that in front of 2,000 people and having them laughing uproariously. That's the greatest feeling in the world.
How does your personal story inspire your work?
Well, the story it's twofold. I mean, it's the immigrant story and the Indian father and the Japanese mom, and there's a lot of that in it. And there's also the bullying, the extreme bullying that I was subject to when I was in school. That's a big motivator to get on stage and, I guess, excel and become somebody. And so I think those two things are a great inspiration.
What parts of your work do you think resonate most with your audience?
I think the parts of my work that resonate the most are, my audience loves ethnic jokes, ethnic material, jokes about my parents, jokes about the immigrant experience. They also like the kind of the topical political jokes. They also love the impressions. I do a lot of impressions of the presidents. Bill Clinton's my big impression. I've done that on the radio a lot, and a lot of times I'll call people up and prank them, and they'll think it's actually Bill Clinton. So, and I have some surprises coming that are I can't really talk about, that are going to involve some impressions, and you'll see those in a few months. And I think they're going to get a lot of publicity.
Who's your biggest advocate or your biggest supporter? Who believes in you most?
I would have to say, in this job, one has to believe in oneself, and you have to be your own biggest supporter, because a lot of times there'll be nobody out there. And also, just, I mean, I have a, surprising for someone who's not that well known, a celebrity, I have a huge fan base, and they're very, especially on Facebook, they're real inspirational, and a lot of positivity that comes from that as well.
What's the past year's pinch me moment?
I was in 15 countries last year, performing in 11, and that was kind of a pinch me year. But the real pinch me moment came when I got to perform for the President of the United States, and not only that, I got him on camera, and you can see this on YouTube, I got him saying, "Dan is hilarious," and that had to have been the most amazing moment in my career to date.
Dan is hilarious.
I can't tell you how amazing that was.
Describe what success is or will be for you in the future.
I think in general success, whether you do what I do or you do anything else, I think the real success is enjoying yourself every day and having a lot of passion in your day and being happy and eating right and working out and being healthy and doing a lot of different varied things and not just sitting in front of your computer.
What's the one thing that you think everyone should know about living a creative life?
I think if you want to do something creative, it's really important to actually go out and do it. There are a lot of people who think that they say, I could be a great author, I could be a great musician or whatever it is, and they never try. And I heard a saying, if you have a talent, then you kind of owe it to the world, to give it to the world. And I think so many people get caught up in the day-to-day life. I talk to a lot of people who say, I want to do movies, or I want to do acting, or I want to do voiceover, but I just don't have time to do it because I'm just so busy with work and school and kids. And yet they've shown that the average American watches something like 38 hours of television a week, right? And that's a full-time job. I mean, that's another job, watching TV. And then the average person also says, I don't have time, and yet there's a tremendous amount of peer pressure to go out on Fridays and Saturdays and drink or whatever, and that's what everyone does, and so we feel this pressure. Everyone else is doing it, so I have to do it. So you get home, you have dinner, you go out, so from 9 until 3 you're basically wasting time, and then you're hungover, and then you the whole rest of the day, the Saturday is shot, and then they rinse and repeat, do it Saturday night, and then Sunday shot, and then it's just get up in time to go to work, to a job you don't like. So I think, right there I found you, 50, 60 hours that you could use towards pursuing your passion, and then do you want to do that, or do you want to, work 5 days to enjoy 2 and 45 years to enjoy 10? And that's what 99% of people do. So if you want to be in the other 1% or whatever who are creative and love what they're doing, then go out and do it.
So I'm driving with my parents one day, and we see these cows grazing in a field. So my dad says, now, there is a word that can have a lot of different meanings. Graze, for example. For example, a cow can graze. And then I say, or you can be grazed by a bullet. And then my mom says, or it's a kind of a donut. Did anybody not get that?
I have one last question, and that is, what is your secret to success? So many people say, this podcast or this book or meditation, or what is your secret?
I have anytime 10 or 20 things going, but I think it's working hard. Anything, whether you're an athlete or musician or whatever, it requires about maybe 10 to 15% talent, and then the rest is just really, really hard work. And people don't understand how much work is involved. And so I think I think it's just having a real strong work ethic and being able to wake up early and not be out partying all night. I think those things, having a talent and then exploiting it by working really, really hard, and also finding what it is that you were meant to do. Because if I tried to go out and become, say, a quarterback in the NFL, I mean, yeah, I have some talent for that, but I just, there's no way I could do that. But I know that I can do comedy. I know I can do music. So I think it's having a talent and knowing what it is that you're really good at and finding that and working really hard.
My name is Dan Nainan. Thank you very much.
That was a peek inside of Dan's creative life. You can find more about Dan on TED.com, YouTube, and at his website, danielnainan.com. Check out those sites and join us next time when the trailer talks. I'm Cecily Korst. Come along for the next road trip.